Hello viewers and welcome to another episode of Excel Learning. In today's short video, I'm going to talk about Goal Seek, which basically simplifies your lives because you can hit any target in Excel without a guesswork. Yes, you heard that right. There'll be no guesswork involved, and I'll talk about a scenario which makes it very clear as to the different avenues where it can be applied when such a similar situation arises. Now, without any ado, let's head over to the problem statement. Let's say you work in the sales department and you are presenting the sales forecast for the current month. You have shown your manager the number of units multiplied by price per unit, and your sales is coming to 26,000 rupees. Let's say, assuming a total number of units of 6,500 and per unit price of 4 rupees, leading to a total outcome of sales of 26,000 rupees. Now, your manager asks you, what would it take, or rather, how many units do you need to sell if the sales target increases to 35,000? Now, one way to do that is reverse calculate or just keep plugging the equation here to say that at 7,500 will it be 30,000, at 8,000 it will be, let's say, 32,000, so on and so forth. Or we can be smart and we use Goal Seek. Let me just demonstrate how to use the same. So for using Goal Seek, we need to first come to the result cell, and that result cell should have a formula. So for example, here it is driven by a formula which basically shows it is a multiplication of input 1 and input 2. So that gives Excel an understanding that this is simulative, so as to say that if a variable inside changes, this value also changes. So how does it help us? We simply go over to the data menu. Inside the data menu, we go to what if analysis. The options might be slightly different on your laptops or computers given the version you are using. You need to basically look for this what if analysis. Inside that, we need to look for Goal Seek. The moment you go to Goal Seek, there are three numbers or three references that Excel asks you for. What are the three references? Number one, which is the cell that you want to set to. So for example, here we had already selected the cell which we want to simulate, or rather go to the output. What is the value to which we want to set it? We want to set it to 35,000. And which cell do we want to change? We want to change the number of units that is being planned for sale this month. So the moment I click on OK, it immediately changes it and tells me the exact number of units required to accomplish a sale of 35,000 is 8,750, and there is no guesswork involved unlike earlier. So that is piece 1. Now if you do not like the output, you can simply click cancel and the result restores back to the original output. Now since we want to accept the output, let's say we go to Goal Seek again, we do the 35,000 and we change the number of cells and we press OK. We did this. Now you might be wondering, sort of, it is not that big a task. We could have simply taken 35,000 and divided it by this. We knew 8,750, we could have plugged in here. Yes, you're right, it could have been done. But what happens if your reaction or the chain is longer? Let me just elongate this example to illustrate that. Then you'll be able to understand why it is beneficial when the chain of equations is longer than one. So here we had only one chain of equation wherein we have the total sales equal to A into B, which is number of units into price. So it's easy to simulate to say that if I divide A by B, or if I divide sales by price per unit, I'll be able to get the number of units that I need to sell. Having said that, if the chain is longer, so for example, if I add a cut of cost per unit and then I derive the profitability. Now in profitability, there are three variables that got involved. One is the number of units, one is the price per unit, and the cost per unit, the third one. Here it becomes more challenging to simulate by saying how much should we take in terms of the number of units. So how do we accomplish the task here? Now here our target profit is, let's say, instead of 13,125, we want to have it, let's say, at 15,000. So what we are going to do, same process, we are going to come to the profit cell. Please ensure that it has to be a formula, it cannot be a constant, because let's understand it conceptually. If it is a constant, how will it simulate based on any other variable? In order for it to simulate based on any other variable, it's important and essential that it is linked to that and is in the form of a formula. So what we are going to do next? We are going to go to what if analysis, goal seek, set value to value 15,000 by changing the units, and that's it. So if we sell 10,000 units, we are going to yield a profitability of 15,000 rupees. Now another question you might be having in your mind, that if I want to change both the variables, let's say I want to change the input 1 also, input 2 also, and in some cases input 3 also, how can the scenario be taken care that time? For that, it goes to the next level, which is solver, which I'll try to cover in a upcoming video anytime. Thank you so much for watching. Share it with someone who may need it, and consider subscribing if not already done. Thank you.